After 3 years together, my boyfriend had erased my book ideas. It shocked me because our relationship was about to end. The original post. I've been writing a book for a year now. Every day I write something, even if it's only a line. My school got rid of all of their whiteboards and replaced them with smartboards 6 months ago. I bought 2 because my living room wall is very empty. This is where I do most of my writing on my Google Drive. There are things like character names, places, and a general schedule. Things like that I want to remember. I used to take pictures of it to keep my thoughts close. During lunch, I used to write. When I do that, I get too tired and my writing gets really bad. So I quit. Also, my boyfriend helps me write, which is a great way for us to bond. I haven't taken a picture in about 3 months. I like the whiteboards because I can read my notes from my favorite chair across the room. When I got home last night, everything I had was gone. It was all just a thought. Like I'd write something down when I got home. Writing by hand helps me deal with stress a lot more. I had drawings of things from the book. I'd have to read it all over again and remember everything on it. A lot of it is in my head or on Google Drive, but I'll never get some of it back. But the fact that he deleted it is what matters. We don't live together. He told me I haven't had time for him because I've been interested in it too much. 5 to 6 nights a week we hang out at my house. He plays video games while I write. I think it's a good situation, and I liked it. He helps me with my writing, and I look things up on Google to help him with his game. It's the first time he said it's upsetting him. We could have talked about it if he had brought it up. But he lost it, and I have no idea why. I'm lost. I'm really upset. We got into a big fight over his driving once. He got better. A few weeks ago, my family took him on vacation. We always keep an eye on his kid. His folks paid for all of my classes this spring. We're such important parts of each other's lives, and this hurts and breaks my heart. He inspires me, and we looked at rings at a jewelry shop not long ago. I go back and forth between anger, sadness, uncertainty, grief, anger, and everything else. What do I even do about this? I was so mad last night that I told him to leave. He hasn't called, texted, or stopped by. I keep writing down things to ask, but I delete them. Why did you do it? Are you upset with the way things are between us? What did I do? He hasn't called or texted me all day, which makes me feel even worse. I'm scared to call him. He shouldn't say that he thinks we should break up, or that he doesn't want to be with me when I'm working. Or just don't answer my call. In short, my boyfriend erased the whiteboard I used to write my book. Since it happened, he hasn't talked to me at all. I have no idea what to do and am angry and hurt. How am I going to deal with this? What a statement. 4B3ATATs, that's crazy. As another writer, I would be furious if I were you. It's the first time he said it's upsetting him. It's crazy that he goes right to sabotage if this is true. No matter what, it's wrong. And I'm sure your boyfriend knows how important this work is to you. Strange that, after 3 years, he still hasn't tried to talk to you about this. Who does this? Send him the awful "we need to talk" text message. You should ask him when he has time and have him come over to use his words like an adult. Also, if you don't want to be so open about it, take away his key or change your locks. He lost the things he could do. To be honest, though, I'm not sure if I could get past this. He knew exactly what he was doing and went into your house when you weren't there because he knew it was wrong. He hasn't reached out to you because he either knows he screwed up or thinks he's right. I'm shocked and horrified for you, useful thoughts. I can't believe this was a good way to deal with those thoughts. I hate your man at the moment. Do you remember how Amy burned Joe's book in Little Women because he wouldn't let her go to the play with him? Though Amy was a child, that was a bad thing that she did. She would grow up and be better. Your guy can't do better than the March sister who everyone hates. You can see that he will hurt you and destroy the things you care about if he doesn't get his way. This is not a one-time thing. It tells us something important about his personality. If he comes back with a huge explanation and a plan for how he's going to deal with his feelings in a healthy way in the future, then maybe we should talk about keeping this relationship going. Oh no, I haven't read Little Women yet. But I did order it for my Kindle. I wonder if there's something else going on with him besides what he said because it came out of the blue. I'm not sure. Crazy bubblegum cannibal. This is really bad. If I were a writer, I would have really broken down. That's a lot of work that went to waste because you wanted to finish your work. It's not funny. If it were me, I'd have to fight the guy with my fists after I stopped crying about the work I lost. Follow what 4B3 said and take away his key right away. You can get this back when you earn it, but there's no doghouse. The truth is that I've been in situations where my old story notebooks were used in a grill fire, and I've never taken the blame. That person is no longer even a friend of mine. Of course, I'm not telling you to dump him or cut ties with him in general. That being said, I think the connection should be talked about somewhere. If he can't handle you being deep in something you've worked on for years, something you love, He's not ready to date any kind of artist, to be honest. He really thought that ruining anything that looked even slightly important was the best thing to do at the time. But when you get back to normal, try to find him again by going back over your steps. Change the way you're making your world, it might lead to new things. Keep your head up, friend. I hope you can get some facts and then start to crawl back. You can do it. Oh, even though it will be hard. He just stood there, and I don't know what he looked like. Proud, happy, and righted. I've only ever had my jaw drop once, when the ventriloquist girl on America's Got Talent did something so amazing. I had no idea that was a real feeling of shock and awe. It did before I passed out last night. When I woke up face down on my bed, I told him to leave. The post change was made by Oop. Holy crap, you guys. I'm totally stressed out. I have no idea what to say. Someone I talk to often said I could come over, so we're getting pizza and wine. As of now, 3 months have passed since my last post. It looks like this went on for a long time. We got ice cream and a bottle of wine at a friend's house the night I wrote my post. She ordered pizza. It was easy for me to talk to her about everything, because she is honest, neutral, and gives good relationship advice. She had no idea why he did it. We talked about how we looked at each other, hung out, and how much he seemed to care about me. However, it also showed that I was very hesitant. I'm an upbeat person who usually overlooks or forgives mistakes. I thought it might be a way of coping from when I was a kid. Things between us weren't quite right, and I think he was trying to keep them from me. But whenever I brought them up, he'd get angry and say, "It's okay, I don't care anymore." He would bring them up in fights, though. I had no idea it was so dangerous. I told him that night that I would be over the next day to talk about things. His only text message to me was okay, which I didn't answer. I told him I'd be over around 11. When I got to his house at 11, he was still asleep. When I woke him up, he was mad. It stopped me in my tracks. It's not often that something makes me cry, but I was so mad and hurt I couldn't even think. There was no talk between us before I left, and he didn't follow me. I went to the kitchen on my way out and took my house key off of his keyring. I got home so drunk that I forgot to take his things with me. I put them in a box on my door and texted him to come get them. He asked, "What the hell? Okay, I'll pick them up later." Some of my friends and I went out, got drunk, and ate some delicious food. It made me feel better, but I was so sad when I got home and found that his things were gone. I never sent him a text. He didn't text me. I never got closure, and even though some people say it's not important, I've had a terrible time moving on. I still cry in the shower every once in a while after 3 months. It doesn't matter that I broke up with him, I still feel so lost and sad. I have no idea why he did what he did, and I probably never will. I miss having his help and company. I wish I could come here and say I finished my book. I haven't written much since then, though. I'm no longer able to get into the head of my character. That made me think of a better outline. There's a sense of loneliness and loss. There's something wrong with my writing. I went to the shop to study the other day. I finally looked at books about time travel and found one that has a huge number of good reviews. I've been trying to come up with a way to include time travel in my science fiction book, so it pretty much lined up right. It's creepy. I haven't studied or taken physics. All of a sudden, astronomy and string theory make sense. It amazes me that so much of my plan has been studied in such detail. It makes me feel so weird. I'm very excited about the book. It gets me so excited to read more about everything, and it's really helped me flesh out my plan. I read about 20 pages every night because I can't put it down. For years now, I haven't found the time to sit down and read a book. Now I carry a notebook with me all the time and write down my thoughts. I haven't written about my plot yet, but I'm excited again. My story makes more sense now. No longer do I care much about how we broke up. It doesn't bother me. I get sad sometimes at night, during the day, or when I'm out with a guy and look at him for a long time. I'm still too hurt to date, so I haven't even thought about it, but I get a little further every day. Thank you to everyone who helped me out. I forgot about my post until now. Reading it again made me realize how badly it was written, and it helped me move on. Thanks. TL Doctor, my ex-boyfriend took away my book ideas. I broke up with him and haven't heard from him since. It was hard to let go of the past. Since a few months ago, I've had trouble writing, but I just recently got the urge to write again. It took some time, but I got back to being myself. Let's move on to story 2. I found out that my parents have been lying to me my whole life about my food allergies. Is it okay for me to cut them out of my life? Because I have family on Reddit, I'm using a fake account. Mom and Dad have told me since I was a little girl that I can't have milk or chocolate. It said that I got really bad hives on my very first Halloween. When my mom gave me milk chocolate, I broke out in hives and had trouble breathing. I was rushed to the hospital and told I was allergic to both chocolate and milk. So I've been told I can't eat daycare, and my mom tried to sue the owner of the daycare for some stupid reason that no one knew. My mom was mad because she thought the daycare owner was interested in my dad and wanted to close the daycare. Then my mom made up the story about me and the Halloween party candy. Before she sued, she made sure not to tell the babysitter about the fake allergy. Instead, she waited for them to feed me food with chocolate in it. When that didn't work, my mom made up a story about how I was allergic to milk. When my aunt tried anything with chocolate or cow's milk since then, a friend from college who lives out of state asked me to spend a few weeks with her. I planned to visit my godmother aunt while I was in her state because I haven't been able to do that since I was a kid. My aunt was so happy to see me, and we hiked and talked for the whole day. When we stopped for lunch, my aunt brought out some granola bars. I couldn't eat them because they had chocolate in them. She was shocked when I told her I was allergic to chocolate. My aunt told me that I have never been allergic to chocolate, and that my mom was lying. She told me that I got sick at. To tell her she was wrong, my mom stopped talking to her, and they haven't talked since. As you might expect, I was shocked. It hurts me so much to think that my aunt was lying and my mom was telling the truth. One of the granola bars was the first thing I ate when we got back to my aunt's house. This did not bother me at all. I called my dad because I was really mad. Anyway, our talk was so crazy and out of the blue that I have no choice but to type it out. What they said went like this. Me. As you and my mom have told me, I'm not allergic to chocolate or milk. Did you know that? Dad, stop being silly. There was a time when you could eat chocolate without getting sick. Why would we make that up? Me. I'm not trying to say that you made it up. Could you please let me know that I do not have the allergy? I ate some chocolate and didn't feel any different afterward. Did I ever get tests for allergies? Dad, I need to ask your mom. You're trying to make us look like liars, which makes me mad. When did I say that someone was lying? What do you want to say? This is when my mom jumped in. Speakerphone. Mom, honey, don't you remember that your 10th birthday party gave you hives? The chocolate in the Tootsie Pop your friend gave you made you sick. Mom, I never had a 10th birthday party, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I just want to know if I've ever had a real chocolate allergy test. Since I was able to eat some without getting sick, I would like to know if I can eat chocolate right now. Mom, I don't understand why you want to know if you had a test. We tell you not to eat chocolate, so you shouldn't. You're telling lies right now when you say we didn't throw you a birthday party that year. You've never been thankful, and now you can't even remember the party we threw for you. Me. Mom, I know I didn't have a 10th birthday party because I was at camp all summer. What do you mean by making me think I did it? There was so much noise that I couldn't understand a word when my mom started yelling at me. I hung up the phone. I put my phone on silent and watched as she called me 40 times in a row. My aunt was watching the whole time and was horrified. After that, my aunt hugged me and told me that this is why she doesn't get along with my mom. My mom has always lied to people, and then tried to make them believe she was telling the truth. I'm really angry about this whole thing. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and I have no idea who those people are anymore. I don't want to talk to them again, because I think they will try to turn on me if I do. Do I have the right to cut these people out of my life? Dr. NTL. My family always told me I couldn't eat chocolate. When I went to see an aunt I hadn't seen in a long time in a different state, she told me that my mom made it up to try to sue a daycare. I ate the thing that people said I was allergic to and didn't get sick. People I called tried to tell me I was calling them liars and then tried to make up a birthday party. It was crazy, and I think they are too. I need to know if I can cut them out of my life. Useful thoughts. Flowers 4. I can't believe you didn't see this sooner. People say that I eat a nut by mistake about once a year, even though I'm allergic to many kinds. They told me not to eat any nuts when I was younger though, just to be safe. Out of the blue, they didn't let chocolate or milk into the house. I always told my teachers and other people I work with about my allergies at the start of each school year. As soon as I got my license, I had to keep an EpiPen in my car in case something bad happened. I didn't think anything bad about them until everything fell apart a few months ago. Adds about her folks in the end. My parents get along great and are best friends. If she's a narcissist, I know for sure that he is too. I don't have the money for an allergy test, but at least I know chocolate won't kill me anymore. I don't think I can act like I forgot about the party because she tried to lie to me about it, which hurt a lot. I don't want to talk to her ever again. My mom doesn't even remember my dates. I am going to check out the subreddit. Thanks. Changes. Since it's been a while, I felt the need to post again because my mom bought a one-way ticket to Crazy Town after my first post. To sum up what I've learned since my last post, chocolate doesn't bother me. I love chocolate so much that I can't stop eating the chocolate waterfall at Golden Corral. It's not milk that makes me sick. I have a slight lactose intolerance. but I was always told it was because I'm allergic to a protein in milk. It's fine for me to drink lactate. I got an allergy test, and it showed that the only things I'm allergic to are pollen and some animal saliva. My mother is crazy. After writing my first post, I decided that the only way I would talk to my parents again was through email. During the first week, my mom called me, more than 1,000 times. I finally had to get a new phone because I stopped answering the old one and let the battery die. Just to give you an idea, she used to call me 2 or 3 times a week, so this sudden rise was crazy. Because my mom knew where my dorm room was on campus, I asked to be moved to a more private dorm building because I wanted to protect my privacy. The only people I told about the move were my college friends. I thought everything would be fine. For a few weeks, everything was fine until one of the adjunct teachers called to ask me to help coach one of the new students. The teachers at my school are on a master list, and any student can call them to get free help. Teachers in the US get paid by the school. I told the instructor that I would talk to the student in a minute and then go get my books. I then walked over to the library. It turned out that the new student was my mom. In order to get in touch with me, my mom chose to go to school as a student. I stopped moving when I saw her and tried to leave the library right away, but she followed me outside and wouldn't leave me alone. I finally hid in one of the fraternity homes and was able to get away from her, but she has been following me around campus ever since. I tried to tell the school about her. College cops told me I couldn't do anything because she hadn't made any threats. I also tried to report her to the regular cops, but they told me the same thing. There are no voicemails, texts, or other messages from my mom that I can use to show what she's doing. My RA made sure that my mom couldn't come into my dorm building because only upperclassmen are allowed and my mom is a beginner. Other than that, I don't have any other choices. My mom wrote on Facebook that she is taking the same classes next term that I need to finish my major. We are both in the same class because she put up her plan. I'm lost on what else to do to stop the crazy. She says she didn't hurt me and that I'm not telling the truth about my milk and chocolate issues. I feel so alone with all of this because my aunt had to go out of the country for work. I haven't been able to get in touch with my dad since he pretty much quit and moved out of my mom's house. Do you know how to stop the crazy? My mom lied to me for years when she said I had a lot of food problems. It was a lie, and I caught her in it. She is now taking the same classes I need to finish my degree, and I don't know how to stop her from following me around. Useful thoughts. The original poster op was responding to a message that said to be a mean girl and take charge. Op, I don't think she's financially or physically dangerous. The only way she could hurt me is socially and mentally. So far, I've been able to joke about it with my friends because she is the perfect example of a crazy Asian mom. I'm going to drink a bottle of chocolate milk if I can set up this meeting. She's always been this crazy, so I don't worry about her. I'm the first person she's been angry at because of this. How did the mom find out? When OOP was free? They tell you all the classes you need to finish every year in a catalog called the degree catalog. That's how she found out. There are no prerequisites for the 200-level class she signed up for, and she can start right away. She passed a lot of the core classes on tests, which shows how smart she is. Next term, she will be taking Calculus 2. I was told to talk to the department head or professor and get her mom taken out. I'm writing an email to the department chair right now and waiting for the student affairs office to call me back. However, the cops would not even look at my phone when I tried to tell them she was following me. Since it's an iPhone, it keeps track of all the times she tried to call me. Hey, everyone. This is my first post here because I didn't want to call my mom a narcissist, and yet I don't know how else to describe her behavior. Also, a lot of people sent me to this subreddit after I wrote about my mom on our relationships. They told me I was allergic to chocolate and milk when they knew I wasn't. I believed them for a long time until I met my long-lost aunt. She told me the truth about my mother's web of lies. I chose not to talk to my parents, and my mom snapped and enrolled at my university. She was basically following me around and taking the same classes I need for next term. When I called the student affairs office, they set up a meeting for my mom and me to talk about the stalking. The manager heard both sides of our stories at the meeting and pretty much caught my mom in another lie. My mom tried to put on her best game face and say she hadn't talked to me in months. She denied that she had called me many times and that she had ever tried to get help from me. She denied everything she did. She tried to make it seem like she was the one who was wronged and that I was the mean, rude daughter who hated her mom. So I pulled out my iPhone and showed the administrator the call log from the time my mom called me over 1,000 times in a row. You're not making this up. The number of calls hit 4,000. Then my mom tried to say that it wasn't her cell phone number, but the administrator checked the student record and saw that she was lying. It was too late for my mom to take back what she said. We both signed papers from the principal that said we couldn't talk to each other for the rest of the school year. If we did, we would be kicked out of class. So that she wouldn't be in the same classes as me, my mom had to change her plans. The official made it clear that if she tried to break the contract, even if it was just by accident, she could lose her student ID and not be able to use it to get into the student center or other buildings while I was there. These buildings are controlled by RFID chips, and we have to swipe them to get in. For the first time in weeks, I felt free after the meeting. I was so happy.